Hello, dear. So far, we have done the initial 2-3 paragraphs of going places. Now we'll resume our journey ahead of it. Recap the important stuff so far, which is over. That the story of going places revolves around adolescent days or teenage, we can call it. Their fantasies, their daydreaming, and their hero worshipping. Further, more than that, we should also incline one more fact into this particular case, that Sophie, the protagonist of the story, the main character of the story, is a girl from lower middle class or the downtrodden section of the society, or the poor section of the society, I must say, that she is a teenager, and the entire story revolves around this girl, Sophie only, who is an ardent daydreamer, frequently floats on the wings of her imagination, in the world of her fantasies, in the world of her fairy tale, and obviously indulged further after some time, in the hero worshipping also, and admires or relates herself, strikes a relation, a love relation, I can use the word, with Danny Casey, who was an emerging superstar of the soccer field or the football field. So far, the journey of the story going places has reached to her home, that after bidding farewell or goodbye to her good friend Jancy, she also in the preliminary part of the chapter discussed her future ambition with her friend Jancy, that she wished to be an actress or a manager or an owner of a boutique or a fashion designer, something sophisticated, something advanced. She always thought for, yearned for, craved for, desired for, longed for. And now the moment she entered her home, all the dreams were shattered, and the evening had blackened into her window, and it means that she felt suffocated, she felt tightening in her throat, and she could not digest or bear the reality that, oh my God, she thought that, oh my God, I was thinking about to become an actress or a fashion designer like Mary Quant, or a manager or owner of a boutique, and this is the reality that belongs to me there. She could not tolerate that thing. She got shocked, she got absolutely astounded, and now all set to switch to her elder brother's room, who was an apprentice mechanic, a newbie, a novice, a beginner in the field of motor mechanism. What he was doing, when Sophie entered his room, he was kneeling on, after spreading some newspaper on the floor. He has got a motorbike. Elder brothers of Sophie has got a motorcycle or a bike which gets broken down every now and then, and being an apprentice mechanic, he tinkers, he repairs the problem at his own only. After spreading newspaper, he is all set. Now we will resume the journey ahead of it. Sophie is getting entered into brother's job room, and who's trying to tinker or repair the broken down part of his motorcycle or bike. Sensible they won't be. Sophie washed her stoop bag. He was kneeling on the floor in the next room, tinkering with the part of motorcycle over newspaper spread, mechanic traveling his whole day. We have done that thing also. The character sketch of Joff was discussed in the end, I remember that, who was an apprentice mechanic and a wise newbie, a learner in the field of motor mechanism, and what type of nature he possessed? He was a taciturn, he was an introvert, hardly spoke. Words came out of his mouth very hardly, as hard as the stones out of ground. And Sophie really felt jealous of her brother's silence there. She wanted him to share all his experience of day-to-day life, far and wide places he visited, people whom he met regarding his job obligations, and but he spoke nothing, okay, to his younger sister Sophie. That caused some sort of envy, some sort of jealousy in the mind of the sister Sophie. Now, the communication. But on the other hand, Sophie always thought Job, okay, to be her what you can say, good friend, more than a friend there. Okay, brother he was, and yes, he was the closest one, okay, according to Sophie to her, and now she is sharing her secret there, okay, with him. Pride doubted, and she was jealous of his when he wasn't speaking. Okay, that was done. Were only the outlying district of the city or places beyond the surrounding country. Who knew? They attended special fascination. Obviously, the unknown thing attracts us a lot there. Fascination caused in our mind, in our heart, towards those unknown, unseen things only which we don't occupy, which we don't possess there. Obviously, that is a simple human tendency of the psychology. Perhaps there were also people exotic. Now the story resumes from here. Job, the brother, didn't speak a lot. Okay, perhaps there may be some places, some people, exotic, unusual but interesting. Exotic, unusual but interesting people. He might have met, and great places he might have visited, but he spoke nothing about both of them. Therefore, Sophie, being an over-ambitious girl, highly ambitious girl, wanted to know about each and everything, okay, which was unknown to her. But Job the brother neither discussed about the people whom he met, nor nor about the places he visited. That created irritation, frustration, jealousy, envy in the mind of Sophie. Interesting people whom he met, or great places he might have visited whom he never saw. It was possible, though, he was quiet and didn't make new friends easily. That is the nature of Job, has been highlighted here. He was a shy guy, he was an introvert, he was a taciturn person, hardly spoke there, and the person who is a taciturn or introvert, naturally they don't strike friendship okay, that much easily. Therefore, he didn't have many friends. Though easily she longed to know them. Sophie longed, desired, wished to know them. Them refers to unknown places, unknown people, exotic, interesting people. Okay, and the places visited by Job. He never spoke anything about them, and Sophie wanted to know about the people whom he met, the places he visited. But Job never spoke anything about them. Them refers to interesting people and the places visited by Job. To know, she wished she could be admitted more deeply into her brother's affections, and that someday he might take her with him, though their father declined it, and Job had never expressed an opinion. She knew he thought her too young, and she was impassioned, desperate. Okay, she was conscious, aware of a vast world out there waiting for her, and she knew instinctively, instinctively out of her heart, that she would feel as at home there as in the city which had always been her home there. Now, Job never desired, never showed any sort of, wish to take Sophie with him there. Maybe the reason that he thought Sophie too young, to be taken out of the home with him. And if we talk about the father's wish or the suggestion or take on that, what was the father's opinion in that? Obviously he would be declining. He would be declining the proposal, of Sophie, if ever she asked to go along with brother Job, to those unknown places, or to meet or to see those exotic people there. But father always declined, to do so, and brother Job, because he was a taciturn introvert boy, he never showed his opinion in front of the father. And one more thing which is important, that was the reason. Therefore, Sophie was impassioned, desperate to to visit those places and to meet those exotic people and fascinated places visited by Mr. Joff. But instinctively she would, and obviously she thought, Sophie thought that she won't be staying back in the village for a longer period of time. City obviously will be her next home. She knew that if she wanted to showcase her talent, her potential, city will be the best place to be there. And she knew that city is going to be her next home, where she would be able to dazzle, she would be able to astound, she will be able to flabbergast, she will be able to surprise the people of city, okay, the professional, the pros, the big shot, the big fishes of the city by her spectacular talent, or by her marvelous acumen, by her marvelous imposition, okay, okay, in the field of fashion designing. And she would feel at home. There is in the next it expectantly, the city, it refers to the city expectantly, hopefully waiting for. It is all rubbish there, it is all trash, it is all daydreaming there. Even she thought, Sophie thought, that city people also desperately waiting for her arrival there. Nothing real in that. Expectantly awaited her arrival. Her arrival, Sophie's arrival. It is daydreaming, it is fantasy, it is hallucination. Okay, then she saw herself riding there behind Job, and now once she started fantasizing herself, okay, daydreaming herself, that she was taken by her elder brother Job, okay, to have a ride to the city. And now fantasy continues. Once she pictured that her elder brother Job took her on the back of the bike, and both of them were having a ride, okay, to nearby city. And what attire they put on while having a travel or having a ride to the city? Attire, underline those attires. Okay, he wore new, obviously, the brother behind Job. She sat on the bike, and he wore new shining black leather, and she yellow dress with a kind of cap, cloth, a long loose cloth is called cap there. And both of them really putting on some nice attire, nice outfit, okay, when they both went to city. They never went to city in real. It was all the fantasy, all the fiction, all the fairy tale, all the daydreaming of Sophie's mind. Cap that flew out behind. There was the sound of applause, accolation, appreciation, accommodation there. Admiration, clapping as the world rose to greet them. Okay, she also fantasized one when she had a ride with her brother to nearby city with Job having a new yellow outfit, and brother Job too was wearing the leather stuff there. Okay, the city people, when they witnessed both of them coming towards them, okay, they could not believe that, and they started appreciating, admiring, accommodating, appreciating, clapping, and they got themselves on their feet and started welcoming them, greeting them. It was all fantasy there, greet them. He said, now the phase of reality began. The phase of fantasy over, now the phase of reality gets kicked off there, started again. He, brother Job, sat frowning at the oily component. Maybe some part of his bike got collapsed, got broken down, was out of the order, and that was being tinkered, that was being repaired by him in his own room there. He, Job the brother, sat frowning, angry look, frowning, looking at someone with some anger, some annoyance there. Why brother Job was looking at the broken down part of the bike with some anger? Because he was trying to get it tinkered, going to repair, but he was not able to tinker it properly. Therefore, he, like that, suppose broken down part was there in his hand, it was hanged, it was suspended in his hand, and suppose I am Job and I was looking at that. Come on, what you need? You tell me, what's your problem, man? Why you get broken down every now and then? Like that. So some anger goes there in the eyes of Job when he was trying to repair the broken down part, the oily component of his motor bike or motorcycle. Component he cradled, hanged, suspended in his hands as though it were a small dumb animal. Even Job was treating, considering taking the oily component as a dumb animal, and he wanted that dumb animal, broken down motorbike part, as a dumb animal he was treating it, and wanted it to speak its problem. Then only, being a mechanic, apprentice mechanic, he would be able to tinker it, repair it. So who considered whom to be what? Brother Job considered the oily component or the broken down part of his bike as a dumb animal, and what he wanted from it, he wanted it to speak its problem. Then only he would be able to repair it. Willing it to speak, it refers to oily component. Job wanted it to speak its problem. Now conversation between brother and sister started there. Here we go. Sophie considered Job not only brother, not only friend, more than that. She treated him as a confidant, confidant, confident, chum, the best pal, with whom we can share each and every secret. That person, that guy is known as confident, confidant, and Sophie treated Job as a confident. I met Danny Casey conversation. Danny Casey was an emerging superstar of the football field in those days in England. Basically, you see, when we talk about the fan following of Danny Casey, it was worldwide in those days there. The time may be around 2000, 2001. Okay, Danny Casey's era was 2000, 2001 there. Okay, basically belongs to Ireland. But whenever Ireland was not representing itself to a global level or in a World Cup scenario, yes, in free time, okay, when the country Ireland was not playing any game, international game, during those days, leisurely time, Danny Casey, got a club. Okay, he was signed by a football club in England. Okay, that was Princeton United. So obviously he was endorsing. He was a player of football club of England, Princeton United. In short, United there. I met Danny Casey. Hero worshipping started. I met Danny Casey. Sophie said. He looked around abruptly. Because his entire focus of Job was there on oily component. When he heard that sister Sophie met Danny Casey, first of all he could not believe that, because he knew his reality, that Danny Casey was at the top box of the society. He was a billionaire, he was a top drawer, he was a big shot, he was a superstar, he was a super sensation, and how the poor girl like his sister Sophie could meet the super sensation, the superstar Danny Casey. So abruptly, suddenly he saw here and there, okay, to show his amazement, to show his surprise, he said, okay, where? He looked around abruptly, where you met sister? In the arcade, obviously. Arcade, a covered market, a mall we can call it, a complex we can call it. Arcade, obviously. A covered market is called arcade. So here we can call it a mall or a complex. Mall, funnily enough, not possible. Funnily enough, he didn't give any weightage to the statement of Sophie. He didn't believe that. Funnily enough, not possible. It's never true. The first reaction after the Job was simple as that. He didn't believe in the fantasy, in the daydreaming of his sister Sophie. According to him, she never could meet the superstar, the sensation, Danny Casey. I did too. I really met him in order to convince the brother. Okay, she reiterated the same stuff, that no brother, don't laugh like that. Okay, I mean my words. I really met Danny Casey. It's never true. I did too. You told that? Question. Job is asking, did you tell that thing to Job, to dad also, our dad also? She shook her head. No. Chastened, feeling regretful at his awareness, at Job's awareness, that he was always the first one to share her secret there. Come on, brother, how I can share this thing before you with anyone? Let it be dad, but you will always be the first one. Okay, for me, you are the first person whom I prefer to share each and every secret there. So really, I really feel sorry for you, brother, that how you can think that I told this thing to father first. and you will be the second one. Never ever. So she showed her regret there. Brother Geoff should understand that he was the first one for her. Secret, I was the first one to share a secret. I don't believe it. Geoff said that. I don't believe that you ever can meet Danny Casey. There I was. Now the description of our meeting started by Sophie. There I was. Fantasy begins. Fairy tale begins. Daydreaming begins. There I was looking at the clothes at Roy's window. Roy's window was a garment shop where the fashionable clothes were available there. Roy's window at arcade. Someone came and stood beside me, and I looked around, and who should it be but Danny Casey? When I looked around me, suddenly I found that, oh my God, the superstar, the super sensation there waiting for me. Okay, she could not believe that particular thing there. Let me tell you, she could not believe that, oh my God, that she was in the arcade, and how the superstar Danny Casey can be theirs. First of all, she didn't believe that. She didn't believe that. All right, what does he look like? Then, to convince it, to get to the fact, Geoff asked, okay, Sophie, if you really met Danny Casey, come on, tell me how he looks like. What does he look like? Oh, come on, you know what he looks like, close to, I mean that. No. Sophie said, oh, come on, we have seen Danny Casey many times before, and even you might have seen many times while playing for United team or for the Ireland team on the television, many times in the stadium also, we have seen him many times. No. Geoff said, no, from close to, because he was standing beside you, so he was standing very close to you, almost next to hand, then from close to, closely, okay, how he looks there, close to, from a closer range, how he looks, means Geoff wanted to know the features of Danny Casey's face as he was standing or she was standing very close to him. Oh, come on, you know what he looks like, close to, okay, I mean, Geoff said that, from closely, how he looks. Well, he has green eyes. Green eyes refers to eyes full of innocence, childish eyes, full of innocence. Gentle eyes, his eyes are, and he is not so tall as you would think there. Okay, well, because the superstar, Danny Casey, was seen by them either in the stadium or the television screen only. So they could not really gauge the real height of Danny Casey or any other superstar. So she was making it clear that he is not that much tall as we would think so. She wondered if she should say about his teeth, but decided against it. She also wanted to tell Geoff about the teeth, the gap which happens between the teeth of Danny Casey. But she thought against. She didn't feel it as a correct thing there, because for Sophie, Danny Casey was her hero, and how she could tell the negative, the cons of the features of Danny Casey. How we can explain this line again? She wanted to tell that there comes a gap between the teeth of Danny Casey when he smiles. She thought not to tell this clumsy aspect of Mr. Danny Casey's face there. A repulsive aspect of Danny Casey's face. And what was the repulsive aspect of Danny Casey's face? That when he smiles, there comes a gap in his teeth there. When he grins, when he smiles. He decided against. She didn't tell that thing to elder brother Geoff, that there comes a gap between his teeth when he smiles. Their father had washed. Now the para changes, so the thought also, so the place also. Now father, who was scooping the shepherd pie, as he was taking his maybe dinner or evening meal or a supper, he was finished. With this food, now is all set for entertainment. Let me tell you one more thing. The entire family of Sophie was a die-hard fan of the game of football, and they liked Danny Casey very much there. Or even further also we can go more than that. Football or the soccer was not a mere game or a sport for them. For them, it was a religion. It was a religion, and they took the game as a religion. So Danny Casey was the superstar, the role model, the idol for them. Their father had washed when he came in, and his face and arms were shiny and pink, and he smelled of soap there. And after taking food, because he was dreamy, he was sweating, hugely, profusely. Therefore, after taking his food, he might have washed not only his face but also his arms, there. Labor class people have the tendency to wash their entire arms or the face, after taking food there. So when both of them came to father's room, they came close to father, and they could smell the soap, because father had washed his arms and face, hands with the soap after taking food there. The smell of soap. He switched on the television now. It was entertain time there. Food time over, and the labor class people, again the tendency is highlighted here. Now it was a TV watching time for father of Sophie. He switched on the television, tossed one of the little Derek's shoes from a chair onto the sofa, and sat down with a grunt. Now you see the real lower middle class scenario is pictured here, is mentioned here. When he tried to get onto the chair, already there was lying the shoe of little Derek. So he tossed up the shoe not onto the floor but onto the sofa there. Really illiteracy or ill-mannered being highlighted here. And sat with a grunt. He may be having a heavy body, he was having a plump face. It is already mentioned before. So when he sat on the chair, it created some sort of noise there, that is called grunt there. Generally, the sound of bear, a wild animal, is generally called grunting there. So here, when he sat on the chair, heavy body he had, therefore it created some sound, that is grunt there. Sophie met delicacy. Job said now. Job was telling that thing to father. Father, you know, our Sophie met the superstar, the super sensation, delicacy. Sophie wriggled where she was sitting at the table. Sophie didn't didn't anticipate, didn't surmise, never predicted, never anticipate that Brother Jock would be sharing that thing, with father, in front of the father. So she wriggled back, shrank back out of fear. Wriggled back, shrank back out of the fear, because she never anticipated or surmised that her elder brother Jock would discuss this private thing, in front of the father, that she met Danny Cassie. So out of the fear, she wriggled back, she shrank back out of the fear of father. It suggests that Sophie fears her father enormously. Where she was sitting at the table, her father turned his head on his thick neck to look at her. His expression was one of the disdain, full of hatred. He didn't like that thing. Every father wants the daughter in teenage to be more sensible, to be more witty, to be more realistic there. But when he heard that Sophie met Danny Cassie, he knew that it was all make-believe, it was all fantasy, it was all daydreaming. It can't be true ever, it can't be real ever. Therefore, out of hatred, disgusting thought, disdain, out of hatred, one more word you can use, scornfully, S-C-O-R-N-F-U-L-L, scornfully, full of hatred. He loathed that thing, he didn't like that thing there, despised that statement that Sophie met Danny Cassie. He didn't believe, obviously, he knew the difference between their class and the class of Danny Cassie. Sophie wriggled back on his thick neck, occupation of disdain. It's true, Job said. Every elder brother generally favors, supports the sister in front of the parents there. Father, it is true. It is true. It's true, Job said. I once knew a man who had known Tom Finney. Tom Finney was a superstar of the soccer field of England, obviously UK belonged to. From 1940 to 1960s. He scored around 37 goals. Tom Finney, suppose Danny Casey is the superstar of today, 2001-2002, time is mentioned here. But Tom Finney in 1960s, he was a superstar of the soccer field there. So it is the superstardom always continues forward when the generation goes or ahead of it there. When Sophie's father was a young man or a boy, he admired Tom Finney. Now it was the generation changes, so the superstardom too. That Tom Finney was the past, and the present was Danny Casey. Past was obviously Tom Finney. Tom Finney, his father said reverently, obviously respect was shown, honor was shown. Whenever the elderly people remember or state something about their superstar or role model, generally they show some sort of honor towards them, reverently, respectfully to the television. But that was long time ago. Obviously, I knew a man. My good friend also once met Tom Finney. So there's nothing great in that. That Sophie met Danny Casey. You told us, Geoff said, no, father, you already have told us that your one of the acquaintances met Danny Casey, the Tom Finney. But we are talking about the present scenario, Dad. That superstar Danny Casey is the truth of nowadays there. You are talking about way back 1960s or 50s there. We are talking about present. You told us, Geoff, you have already told us that one of your apprentices met Tom Finney once there. We are talking about present eras. Dad, Casey might be that good someday, and let me tell you, Dad, Danny Casey also can be as good, as great as Tom Finney there. Tom Finney. Be good someday, better than that, even he is the best. Or Geoff said, no, father, he cannot be as good as Tom Finney, he can be better than that of Tom Finney there. Every generation admires their superstar. Okay, when we talk about there of Sunil Gavaskar, okay, our grandfather believed that Sunil Gavaskar was the greatest batsman of all time. Someone may admire Vivian Richards. Okay, I may admire my era superstar Sachin Tendulkar. You may be appreciating Virat Kohli stuff there. So superstardom undergoes the generation modulation there. Okay, so in every era the superstars will be there, and I personally believe that we should not compare the superstar of two different eras there. You know, my Tom Finney, his father had said reverently, you told us that, okay, he's the best. If he keeps his head on the shoulder, if they look after him properly, a lot of distractions for a youngster in the game of these days. Their father made it clear, yes, he can be better than Tom Finney, but the only thing Mr. Danny Casey has to do, that he must not allow himself to diverse, because nowadays a real money is there, okay, in the game of football, and for a boy there may be more than one distraction, not distraction towards money, distraction, diversion, fascination, attraction, enticement towards girls also can be there. So if the manager of Princeton United looks after well of Danny Casey, and he didn't allow Danny Casey to go around with the girls, yes indeed he can be better than Tom Finney. Geoff's father believed so. The first team, he is very young yet. He's all right. He's with the best team in the country. Okay, he will do all right. Geoff, the brother, thought, no, father, he's not that sort of chap in some affairs with the girls there. He is representing the best football club of our country, Princeton United, and he's a shy guy. He's not like other boys, other players who gets distracted towards the girls easily. He's very young yet, and he's too young actually. Father might have said that. He's too young to think whether he should go for this distraction or not. He's not mature. Okay, he wanted to say that. He's older than I am. Brother Geoff said, no, he's not that much young. He is older than I am. Geoff may be around 18. He may be around 19 or 20, Mr. Danny Casey. Too young really for the first team. Father said that. Okay, he's too young to represent the best football club of the country, England there. In Princeton United might have seen some years, some recent performance of Danny Casey, then only they should have picked up. Father believed that. Last 2-3 lines dear. Ability, he is going to buy, you can't argue with that sort of ability, dear. Father. Geoff said, no, Papa, it is not like that. Dad, if you have got the talent in very early age also, you can be picked up by the best team, by the best football club of our country, Dad. You can't argue with that. He's gonna to buy a shop, Sophie said from the table. Her father grimaced. Okay, where did you hear that? He told me so. He muttered something inaudible and dragged himself round in a chair. This another of your wild story. Now, Sophie wanted to change the topic, and she told them. Sophie told both of them, Father, you know, he's gonna to buy a shop. Father asked out of surprise, how you came to know that Danny Casey is gonna to buy a shop? Then Sophie said, he told me so. I told him, I met him in the arcade. He told me that he's going to buy a shop soon. Father grimaced. When somebody twist is one part of the face there, one corner of the lips there towards one direction. It is called grimacing. It is called grimacing. The father grimaced towards Sophie that it can't be true. It is another of your wild story. It can't be true. That how you can know that Danny Casey is about to purchase a shop. Another is your wild story. Father didn't believe, and he took that thing as a daydreaming, as a fantasy, as a fiction, as an unrealistic statement from Sophie's side there. She met him in the arcade, Job said, and told him how it all been there. Eventually, Job told that father our Sophie was in the arcade. Suddenly, she saw someone standing beside her, and when she realized that she was standing next to the superstar, she was surprised. And he narrated the entire episode in front of the father that how Sophie met Danny Casey. Okay, enough for today, dear. Listen to it time and again to understand the entire comprehension of this particular page or the previous page. Or please feel free to ask me if anything out of these two pages, being difficult for you regarding your comprehension part.